Hey, Racing Dad here. Today we're going to go over how to enjoy an F1 weekend. And so, pretty much there are 3 practice sessions, usually on like Thursday, Friday. Qualifying happens on Saturday, which sets the order for the race on Sunday. So we'll walk through first the practice sessions and what they're doing during each of those. And really they're looking to try to optimize the car. There are a lot of different settings on the car, how much downforce there is, what angles do the tires point at, how much brake pressure to run. So they're tinkering with all of that during the practice sessions. Now there are 10 teams on the grid. Each team can field 2 drivers. Red Bull has really historically dominated the last couple years. Mercedes dominated for like 7-8 years before them. Ferrari and McLaren, both teams with a ton of history. McLaren is doing really well towards the end of last year and really dominating this year. Then you have a series of midfield teams like Aston Martin, Alpine, which is formerly Renault, Williams, which has a ton of history as well. You have the Racing Bulls team, which is a sister team to Red Bull, some controversy there. Kick Sauber, and then Haas, which is the only American team. Now the track I'll be showing you is Spain, which is the upcoming race this weekend. And you might hear terms like sector. Pretty much the track is split up into 3 sectors. Sector 1, 2, 3. You'll hear DRS or drag reduction system, which allows the cars to go a little bit faster, and we'll go through that mechanic in a little bit. And you'll definitely hear turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They basically number all the turns and it's all sequential. Spain has, it looks like, 14 turns. So in qualifying, it's basically broken down to 3 mini sessions, Q1, 2, and 3. At the end of each one, they're going to drop the 5 slowest drivers. So when you get to Q3, it's just with the top 10 drivers who are setting the order. Alright, so here we're going to be leaving the garage to go onto the track to do our fast lap. And you might hear a term in-lap, out-lap, and that basically refers to, are you leaving the pit, so it's your out-lap, or are you doing a lap to go into the pit lane? That will matter more for race strategy. While you're doing your out lap, what you're really trying to do is put the tire temperatures into the right operating window, not too hot and not too cold. Managing tire temperatures and tire wear are going to be critical for the race. You'll also hear ERS, or Energy Recovery System. F1 cars have not only an internal combustion engine, but also a battery pack. So over the course of a lap, it'll recharge. When a driver deploys the battery, they'll be able to just accelerate faster and have higher top speed. DRS is something I mentioned earlier, and this is exactly what it looks like here. Drag reduction system. The rear wing will open up to let more air flow through it, so you have less drag, which allows you to go at a higher top speed. During the race, you have to be within 1 second of the car in front of you to be able to use it, so it'll help with passing or overtaking other cars. This is where drivers will strategically also use their battery or the ERS to try to get within that 1 second window of the car in front, and the car in front will be strategically using the battery to try to keep the driver behind them outside of that 1 second window. So we're racing as Lewis Hamilton here. We're about halfway through our qualifying lap. In the top right, you might see colors like green, purple, or yellow. Basically, green is a personal best for that sector. Purple is best of everybody, and yellow is not your fastest. And we're going through sector 3 here. Just a couple more turns, and we almost lose the car there. And what you might also hear is the terms oversteer and understeer. What you just saw me do really was oversteer, where the rear of the car slides out, and I basically was trying to accelerate too fast. Understeer is when the car just doesn't have enough grip in the front, so you are turning the wheel as hard as you can, but it's not turning along with it. Basically, you're going too fast for the amount of grip that you have. And so coming up on this turn, I try to show what understeer looks like. Right, I'm going too fast, I'm cranking the wheel, but it's just not turning enough, and I go off track. So that would be an example of understeer. So as we finished qualifying, we opted not to do a Q3 lap so we could start in 10th, just so we could show what overtaking might look like. And you can see just the gaps of these cars are really close together, just separated by a couple meters sometimes. Now during the race day, you might hear a term called tire strategy, and that's basically what tire you're going to run, how many laps you're going to run on it, and what's the sequence of which tires you're going to use. This can really make or break the outcome of the race. Now there are 3 tire compounds: soft, mediums, and hards. Softs are softer, so it allows you to have more grip. You can go faster, but they really wear out faster. So in the long run, not the fastest one. Hards, on the other end, are harder, so they don't give you the most amount of grip, but they last a lot longer. When you pit will also be really critical, especially relative to your competitors, because that can give you a huge time advantage on the in-lap and out-lap. You could even pass cars through tire strategy without having to pass them on track, which tends to be a lot harder. Alright, we have made it to race day. All the cars are on the grid, and we are starting as soon as all 5 lights turn off, which they do now. We get a decent start relative to Russell and Ocon in front of us. They go towards the inside of the track relative to the turn coming up. And so something you might hear is how drivers might be defending or attacking, inside or outside. So in that instance, that was one where Ocon defended the inside, so I couldn't get to the apex of the corner. On this one, it's the opposite. So Perez defended the outside of it, which allowed me to go into the down the inside through the corner. And that's going to be a little bit of a chess game between drivers as the race evolves. Which turn do you want to defend on the inside or outside, or defend at all? Oftentimes when you do defend, you're not carrying the maximum speed that you could through the corner, so it's a slower way to drive, and that's when we'll see a lot of other cars really be able to catch up from behind. And so there can be a little bit of a dance between both drivers, where it's like if you defend against each other too hard, you're inviting cars behind you to really catch up and potentially attack both of you all. Now, we survived lap 1. Lap 1 is often notorious for incidences, and here's a great example actually where Leclerc or Sainz defended the inside, and we were allowed really just to swoop around the outside. Here's a replay from the start. You can just see what it looks like on TV, just this gaggle of cars really just going so fast and so close together. Now, we're back to lap 3. Alonso does the same thing as Sainz, defending the inside, but you can see here Alonso braked later, and so it was a little harder for us to go around the outside. We weren't able to. So now we're progressing. Halfway through lap 3, I took that curb a little too hard, which you could see just unsettled the car completely. Lost grip. I almost went sideways there onto the grass, lost a few positions. A couple laps later, this is a great example of how strong or how powerful the DRS can be, the drag reduction system. Sainz did not have it, but Leclerc and I did, and so both cars just passed the red car, the Ferrari in the back, fairly easily. So I mentioned earlier tire management was really important during the race, and this is a great example of me not managing my tires well. We're already really worn down on the front left and the left generally, but in a 23 lap race here, we're not going to pit for another 4 or 5 laps. If we pit too early now, then I'll just feel the pain later. So I really don't have any choice but to push through this. Where right now we see Alonso, the driver right in front of us, pit. And usually that would give us a chance to either do a fast lap now before we go into the pit, and or a fast lap once we change new tires on our out lap to try to make up that gap and pass Alonso through really just the timing of our pit strategy. Unfortunately, Alonso was way too far out there. We're not going to be able to make up a 4 or 5 second deficit here. We jump into the pits. You can see Leclerc does the same thing. We're going to go from softs to mediums as the mechanics change our tires. 2.4, pretty good. I would say, I think the world record right now is like 1.8 seconds, held by the McLaren engineers. But yeah, anything over 3 or certainly 3.5 is going to be considered slow. Now, we just exited the pit. Before we went into the pit, Sainz was behind us, and this is where Sainz's pit strategy really allowed him to overtake us. Now, I try to keep up with him. He's about 0.9 seconds in front of me there, but that gap grows to 2.6. I'm just not able to keep up with him, especially on these tires. Now, as we go into lap 19 of 23, we get a sign that Alonso is out, and you can see his car parked up here on the left. So you might hear another term, safety car or red flag. And that's usually when there's either debris or a car broke down like Alonso's, and they need time to make the track safe again. In a safety car situation, another car, a green car, will literally come out onto the track. All the F1 cars have to line up behind it. So all the gap times that you might have to the different cars are all neutralized. It's really just a rolling start from there. Red flag is when it's super serious and everybody has to go back in the pit lane, and it's a start from the grid. Now you can see that gap to Sainz grow to 9 seconds, but we're able to keep all the cars behind us to finish in 5th place, or P5. Now where you finish will give you a different number of championship points. The bottom 10 drivers get 0, and then the top 10, you can see the spread here. Whoever gets the fastest lap also gets an additional 1 point. Now over the course of 25 or so races over the season, each team and each driver is trying to just gain more points. And so at the end of the year, the team with the most number of points amongst their 2 drivers wins the team championship, the constructors championship, and the driver that has the most points wins the drivers championship. So I think that's everything you'll need to know to enjoy an F1 race weekend. One of the reasons I really enjoy this sport is you may just see the driver, but there's so many more people that set the team up for success. It's folks on the pit wall that are calling the strategy. It's people back at the factory that have been designing, analyzing, manufacturing each of these parts that ultimately is separated by really fine margins. Tenths of a second, hundreds if not thousands separate these cars. If you have any other ideas for videos, let me know. Comment down below. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.